Happy Vlogmas, one and all. It's day 5 of Vlogmas, and today we've got another reading for you, which is The War Beneath the Tree by the wonderful Wolfe. I've been looking around for some Christmas stories, Christmas science fiction stories. They're thin on the ground. Originally I'd only found 2, but I found a few more now. But they are thin on the ground. The War Beneath the Tree, originally it was published in Omni magazine in December 1979, and I happen to have that copy here. In between all the cigarette ads, whiskey ads, and high-tech ads, I think at the time they thought that only well-to-do men who drank a lot of whiskey and smoked a lot was interested in popular science. I've quite a collection of these magazines. I keep meaning to do a video on them, which I will do at some point. But I said that's got the War Beneath the Tree in it. It also appeared in the Book of Days, his collection, and another collection of his. So that's what we will be reading today. And if you have a look, beautiful, beautiful picture in there on the original thing, which was done by Donald Roller Wilson, who, if I remember rightly, did a lot of sort of anthropomorphic chimpanzee smoking and weird things like this. But yeah, this is The War Beneath the Tree, and I'm going to start reading it soon. Maybe a couple of breaks, just because that's the way I am. If you hear any weird shuffling noises, it's people clearing ice outside, because it's just another freezing day here in the north. And I have my window open because I'm obsessed with windows open. If you now see a change in light, it's because my eyesight's poor and it's gone very dim outside, so I need to be able to read, because I need to be able to see, and I need a newer eye test. So this is The War Beneath the Tree by Wolfe. Not a creature was stirring, but the toys were busy planning their strategy. "It's Christmas Eve, Commander Robin," the spaceman said. "You'd better go to bed or Santa won't come." Robin's mother said, "That's right, Robin. Time to say goodnight." The little boy in the blue pajamas nodded, but he made no move to rise. "Kiss me," said Bear. Bear walked his funny, waddly walk around the tree and threw his arms around Robin. "We have to go to bed. I'll come too." It was what he said every night. Robin's mother shook her head in an amused despair. "Listen to them," she said. "Look at them. Bertha, he's like a little prince surrounded by his court. How is he going to feel when he's grown and can't have transistorized sycophants to spoil him all the time?" Bertha, the robot maid, nodded her own almost human head as she put the poker back in its stand. "That's right, Miss Jackson. That's right for sure." The dancing doll took Robin by the hand, making an arabesque penché of it. Now Robin rose. His guardsmen formed up and presented arms. "On the other hand," Robin's mother said, "they're children, only such a short time." Bertha nodded again. "They're only young once, Miss Jackson, that's for sure. All right if I tell these little cute boys to help me straighten up after he's asleep?" The captain of the guardsmen saluted with his silver saber, and the largest guardsman beat the tattoo on his drum, and the rest of the guardsmen formed a double file. "He sleeps with Bear," Robin's mother said. "I can spare Bear. There's plenty of others." The spaceman touched the buckle of his anti-gravity belt and soared to the height of 4 feet, like a graceful, broad-shouldered balloon. With the dancing doll on his left and the bear on his right, Robin toddled off behind the guardsman. Robin's mother ground out her last cigarette of the evening, winked to Bertha and said, "I suppose I'd better turn in too. You needn't help me undress. Just pick up my things in the morning." "Yes'm, too bad Mr. Jackson ain't here, it being Christmas Eve and you expecting it and all. He'll be back from Brazil in a week. I've told you already, Bertha, your speech habits are getting worse and worse. Are you sure you wouldn't rather be a French maid for a while?" "May's none, Miss Jackson. I have too much trouble talking to the men that comes to the door when I'm French. When Mr. Jackson gets his next promotion, we're going to have a chauffeur," Robin's mother said. "He's going to be Italian, and he's going to stay Italian." Bertha watched her waddle out towards the room. "All right, you lazy toys. You empty them ashtrays into the fire and get everything put away. I'm going to turn myself off, and the next time I come into this room, better be straight or there's going to be some broken toys around here." She watched long enough to see the gingham dog dump the contents of the largest ashtray into the crackling logs. The spaceman float up to straighten the magazines on the coffee table, and the dancing doll began to sweep the hearth. "Put yourselves in your box," she told the guardsman, and then she turned off. In the smallest bedroom, Bear lay in Robin's arms. "Be quiet," said Robin. "I am quiet," said Bear. "Every time I am almost gone to sleep, you squiggle." "I don't," said Bear. "You do, don't, do. Sometimes you have trouble going to sleep too," Robin said. Bear. "I'm having trouble tonight," Robin countered meaningfully. Bear slipped from his arms. "I want to see if it's snowing again." He climbed from the bed to the open drawer, and from the open drawer to the top of the dresser. It was snowing. Robin said, "Bear, you have a circuit loose." It was his mother's sometimes said to Bertha. Bear did not reply. "Oh, Bear," Robin said in a sleepy moment, "I know why you're antsy. It's your birthday tomorrow, and you think I didn't get you anything." "Did you?" Bear asked. "I will," Robin said. "Mother will take me to the store." In half a minute his breathing became regular, heavy sighing of a sleeping child. Bear sat on the edge of the dresser and looked at him. Then he said under his breath, "I can't sing Christmas carols." It had been the first thing he had ever said to Robin 1 year ago. He spread his arms. All is calm, all is bright. It made him think of the lights on the tree and the bright fire in the living room. The spaceman was there, but because he was the only toy who could fly, none of the others liked the spaceman. The dancing doll was there too. The dancing doll was clever, but well, he could not think of the word. He jumped down to the drawer on top of the pile of Robin's undershirts, then out of the drawer and softly to the dark carpeted floor. "Limited," he said to himself. "The dancing doll is limited." He thought again of the fire, then of the old toys, the blocks Robin had been before he and the dancing doll and the rest had come. The wooden man who rode the yellow bicycle, the singing top. The door of Robin's room was nearly closed. There was only a narrow slit of light so that Robin would not be afraid. Bear had been closing it off a little more each night. Now he did not want to open it. It had been a long time since Robin had asked him about his wooden man and singing top and a block, with all this talk of all apples and acorns and alligators. In the living room, the dancing doll was positioning the guardsman, and all while the spaceman stood on the mantel and supervised. "We can get 3 or 4 behind the bookcase," he called. "Where they won't be able to see a thing," Bear growled. The dancing doll pirouetted and dropped a sparkling curtsy. "We were afraid you wouldn't come," she said. "Put one behind each leg of the coffee table," Bear told her. "I had to wait until he was asleep. Now listen to me, all of you. When I call charge, we must all run at them together. That's very important. If we can, we'll have a practice beforehand." The largest guardsman said, "I'll beat my drum. You beat the enemy or you'll go onto the fire with the rest of us," Bear said. Robin was sliding on the ice. His feet went out from under him and right up into the air, so when he fell down with a tremendous bump that shook him all over, he lifted his head, and he was not on the frozen ground in the park. Not at all. He was in his own bed, and the moon shining at the window, and it was Christmas Eve. No, Christmas night now, and Santa was coming. Maybe he had already come. Robin listened for the reindeer on the roof and did not hear the sound of any reindeer's steps. Then he listened for Santa eating the cookies that his mother had left on the stone shelf next to the fireplace. There was no munching or crunching. Then he threw back the covers and slipped down over the edge of the bed until his feet touched the floor. The good smells of tree and fire had come into his room. He followed them out of the room ever so quietly into the hall. Santa was in the living room, bent over beside the tree. Robin's eyes opened until they were big and as round as his pajama buttons. Then Santa straightened up, and he was not Santa at all, but Robin's mother in a new red bathrobe. Robin's mother was nearly as fat as Santa, and Robin had to put his fingers in his mouth to keep from laughing at the way she pulled and pushed off her knees and with her hands until she stood straight. But Santa had come. There were toys, new toys, everywhere under the tree. Robin's mother went to the cookies on the stone shelf and ate half of one. Then she drank half the glass of milk. Then she turned to go back into the bedroom, and Robin retreated into the darkness of his own room until she had passed. When he peeked curiously around the door frame, again the toys, the new toys, were beginning to move. They shifted and shook themselves out and looked about. Perhaps it was because it was Christmas Eve. Perhaps it was only because it was the light and fire of the activated in their circuits. But a clown brushed himself off and stretched and a raggedy girl smoothed her raggedy apron with a heart embroidered on it, and a monkey gave a big jump and chimed out on the next to the lowest limb of the Christmas tree. Robin saw them, and Bear behind the hassock of Reuben's father chair saw them too. Cowboys and Native Americans were lifting the lid off the box, and a knight opened a cardboard door made to look like wood. The side of the other box made to look like a stone, letting a dragon peer over his shoulder. "Charge!" Bear called. "Charge!" He came around the side of the hassock on all fours, like a real bear, running stiffly but very fast, and he hit the clown with his wide waistline and knocked him down, then picked him up and threw him halfway to the fire. The spaceman swooped down on the monkey, and they wrestled, teetering on top of the polystyrene tricycle. The dancing doll had charged the fastest of all, faster than the bear himself, in a breathtaking series of jetés, but the raggedy girl had lifted her feet from the floor, and now she was running with her towards the fire. And Bear struck the clown for a second time. He saw two Native Americans carrying a guardsman, the captain of the guardsmen, towards the fire too. The captain's saber sliced through one of the Native Americans, and it must have disabled some circuit because the Native American walked badly. But in a moment more, the captain was burning, and the red uniform ablaze, his hands froze up like tongues of flame, and his black eyes glazing and cracking. Bright metal running from him like sweat to harden among the ashes under the logs. The clown tried to wrestle with Bear, but Bear threw him down. The dragon teeth were sunk in Bear's left heel, but Bear kicked himself free. The calico cat was burning. The gingham dog tried to pull her out, but the monkey pushed him into the fire. For a moment, Bear thought of the cellar stairs and the deep, dark cellar, where there were boxes and bundles and 100 forgotten corners. If he ran and hid, the new toys might never find him, might never even try to find him. Years from now, Robin would discover him, covered with dust. The dancing doll's scream was high and sweet, and the bear turned to face the knight's upraised sword. When Robin's mother got up on Christmas morning, Robin was awake already, sitting under the tree with the cowboys, watching the Native Americans do their rain dance. The monkey was perched on his shoulder, and the raggedy girl, programmed the store, had assured Robin's mother to begin Robin's sex education in his lap, and the knight and the dragon were at his feet. "Do you like the toy Santa brought for you, Robin?" Robin's mother asked. "One of the Native Americans doesn't work." "Never mind, dear. We'll take him back, Robin. I've got something important to tell you." Bertha, the robot maid, came in and with cornflakes and milk and vitamins for Robin, and cafe au lait for Robin's mother. Where is the old toy?" she asked. They've done a pickety poor job of cleaning up this room." "Robin, your toys are just toys, of course." Robin nodded absently. A red calf was coming out of the chute with a cowboy on a roping horse after him. "Where are those old toys, Miss Jackson?" Bertha asked. "They're programmed to self-destruct, I understand," Robin's mother said. "Robin, you know the new toys all came, the knight and the dragon and all your cowboys, almost by magic. Well, the same thing can happen with people." Robin looked at her with frightened eyes. "The same wonderful thing is going to happen here in our home." So there you are. That's Gene Wolfe's The War Beneath the Tree. I said it's in his collection Book of Days, which I suggest you get. I suggest you should just buy everything by Gene Wolfe, because the man was a stunning writer. And yes, that is for today's Vlogmas. A little story on consumerism from the wonderful Gene Wolfe. And I will speak to you very soon.